Hey, gang, this is Carl White broadcasting in the kitchen today here at the secret headquarters of the Mortgage Marketing Animals. And you are listening to Loan Officer Freedom, #1 podcast in the world today for loan officers. And man, it's an honor to be riding along with you today. And today I'm going to be the navigator, because the pilot and co-pilot are two guests of mine, one longtime friend, one new friend, Devin Dubuc, my main man coming out of Texas. How you doing, Devin?
Fantastic. Always an honor to spend a few minutes with you, Carl.
Yeah, well, we'll have to arm wrestle on whose honor it is. So it's a pleasure. And dude, you introduced me to this really super cool or new to me, not a new person, but a new to me, Christina Waggoner, who's just down the road from me here in Ocala, Florida. How you doing, Christina?
I'm doing really wonderful. Thank you. I feel blessed to be on the podcast with you, Carl.
Well, it was
spend a couple of minutes with you.
Yeah, well, this was really cool. So you guys came to our boot camp that was here was it here? I think it was, yeah, here in Tampa.
It was.
Clearwater Beach here a month or so ago, something like that. And Devin comes often, and most of the time he's got a lot to share. He speaks at them. And I think it was during the break or something. And anyway, he introduced me to you, and you had just gotten in the business. If I have my fact, and if I say something that's not right, please correct me. But you like just got in the business just a handful of months ago. Is that right?
We got back into the business in May, is when literally the last week of April. And so May was my full week implementing the mortgage marketing plan into my repertoire, learning how to prospect. So I had been out of the business for 6 months, and prior to that I had never prospected before.
So wait, okay, so in the past, wait, so let's fast forward just a little bit, and then we'll fill in the blanks. So you're new to prospecting is what I'm hearing you say. And then I don't know, how's it going? Like, it's certainly a challenging time. I think the average loan officer is down somewhere around 40% year over year is the most recent number I heard. How's it going just getting started off? Like, what's your results so far?
Amazing. I feel blessed that I have this opportunity to be with a branch that has embraced a plan that actually works. I know for a fact that I would not be in the industry if I would have gotten out of the industry, because I didn't have a referral partner network set up to be successful. I had just gotten back into the industry prior to that in 2020. So I got into the industry at a phenomenal time, and I just had loans falling in my lap. I remember talking with another loan officer that got into the industry, and he's actually with our branch now, and he got into the industry in 2022. And he actually introduced me to Mortgage Marketing Animals and introduced me to Devin. And he asked me how I got my business, and I really couldn't give a good answer. It just kind of fell into my lap. And then it stopped falling into my lap. And
Funny how that works.
Yeah.
And I took 6 months off, and then I was like, I got to do something. I thought about going back into auto lending for car dealerships.
Is that what you did before?
I have done that in my past.
Yeah, I like
did.
that.
Well, I did car. Yeah.
I got a buddy of mine that does that. Actually, it does pretty well at it. So it's that does pretty well at it. So you have stuff going on now? Like you got any closings on the either in the last 30 days, or you got anything on in the hopper?
Yeah, I closed 5 this month.
And I'm going to timestamp this. So that's for the month of October. So as we're recording this, it's November 1st, 2023.
October.
And so for October, you closed 5. All right, let's just stop there for a second. All right, now let's fill in some of the blanks, and then we'll go back to moving forward here. So you got into business when it was hot and heavy, and as Devin and I say, the fish were just jumping in the boat. right? And then when the fish stopped jumping in the boat, and come to find out, we actually had to, do some work involved with this. All right, all of us, not just you, Christina, but all of us.
Right.
It changed. So you took a break. You came back in. You your lucky stars hooked you up with Devin. So for those that don't know, Devin's a branch manager, right? And so what activity did you do to bring in the leads? Like what you did? Two questions, if you don't mind me asking. What did you do right? And now that you know what you know, what do you wish maybe you did that you didn't need to do, or like what'd you do right? What'd you do wrong?
Okay, sure. Yeah, that's a great question. Great two questions. So what I did right is I joined a branch that embraces a plan, a strategic plan that you can replicate and create success. So in the beginning, I came on board for 2 weeks. I got acclimated to the CRM and the scripts for mortgage marketing animal
Design
that Devin has
conversations.
implemented.
Yeah.
Yep, design. Design
Yep.
conversation.
Yeah, we don't use, for our
Uh,
listeners, we don't use the term scripts. We use the term conversations by design. So I like that.
Conversations by design.
Yeah.
And then I created my prospect list. And I just started calling and following the daily success plan Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And
Real quick, Christina, when you built that plan, and I think this is an important part of it as well, you built it around qualified agents, but you had a pretty specific fishing method for who you were looking at, right? What was that method you utilized to pick the agents that you intended to communicate and connect with?
I was looking at the units per year, and I know that. Well, I mean, what I was originally taught is we look at 8 buy sides or more is considered a qualified agent.
Yeah.
But I was noticing that those 8 units were 6 months ago and they hadn't done anything in 6 months. So I changed my criteria to 8 in the past 6 months, and I was importing specific number units. And I mean, now I'm calling 20 and up is kind of my criteria
20,
for
wait,
the
20 what?
20 units and up.
So
Buy
they've
side.
done 20 or 20 plus buy sides in the last what period of time?
1 year.
So in the past 12 months. So
So
20 plus buy
but
sides
as
in the
long
last
as
12 months.
but as long as right, as long as those units are a majority of them are in the past 6 months. So
I
really,
got
I
it.
mean, as if they've done 8 units in the past 6 months is kind of my
Pretty close
search
to 20.
criteria.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that.
And I had her bring that up, Carl, because we've had some other people in the branch that haven't had the same success, and they were targeting the 8 or more, but they weren't looking at the last 6 months. And what we found is a lot of them that were 8 or more in the last 12 have slid off, and now they're 3 to 4 or less.
Yeah.
And we were having a lot of conversations with people that were frustrated with the industry. And what Christina did that was really smart, you asked her the great question, what was the thing that you did was right? She focused on a list around people that were doing business right now, so that when she's making those phone calls, she's connecting with people that are feeling good about where they are in this market, not feeling bad. And I think that's one of the big reasons why she's having great success is she's connecting with the right people.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, Devin. So, and I know we're talking about Christina when she's here, right? But like, so here you have somebody that's what, 5th month back in the business, and on the 5th month closed 5 loans. That puts her in some rarefied air today, right? Like, really, what do you think? Like, and you and I have seen other loan officers not having success.
Yeah.
What do you think she's doing that most aren't? Like what would you say her secret sauce is?
I can answer that. So the first thing with Christina is when we sit down and talked about bringing her into the branch, we talked about the 90-day support and growth plan, or the fast action 90-day plan. And we identified what her goals were, where she wanted to be. And she had some pretty big numbers where she wanted to be. And, when we sat down, we talked about that. We said, this is what it's going to take to get there. Obviously, the marketing analyst has provided a great strategy plan that lets us know how many agents that we need to connect with per day, per week, per month, over that 90-day period of time to create that success. The next thing we did was say, can I hold you accountable for these numbers? Right? Will you, in fact, do what you say you want to do? And she said, I will. And what I love about Christina is her promise was not an empty promise. She literally did exactly what we talked about doing. She made the right amount of phone calls each week to create the right connections. And then the other thing that she's done, which is, again, I think this is a misstep for a lot of loan officers right now, when she gets that lead, when she captures that lead, the experience that she provides the consumer and the agent is up here. It's bar none, right? What we know is a lot of these agents have relationships with their loan officers 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And if they're going to meet and consider utilizing you for that business, you need to excel when they pass you over a lead and provide them great service. And she's done exactly that. Her communication and follow up, the three-way text with the agent and the borrower, honoring the agent, right? Doing a loyalty uplift. Hey, great choice in picking Susan. She's amazing. You're going to have a fantastic experience. She's embraced all of that on a much higher level than I've seen with others. And there's no secret to me as to why she's having great success. She's following the plan step by step, but she's also making sure that when she captures those leads, man, that wow experience like no other.
Christina, what is that thing in you that when you're entering into the industry, the average loan officer is down about 40%, and yet you still have that fire inside that screw the numbers, screw the averages. I'm going to close 5 here on my 5th month. Like, what is it? Where does that fire come from?
I don't make it an option. It's a requirement. Like I have to meet my numbers. And the other thing is it's more about, I mean, I am held accountable for the numbers. And
what does that mean?
My calls.
Yeah, but when you
my
say
coffee appointment,
hey, Devin holds you accountable. I mean, he's not holding you down and waterboarding you, right? So
no.
So what does that look like? Like, really, what does that mean?
Well, it's not. I don't think it's not necessarily held accountable by Devin. I think it's our team.
It's just the vibe of the team. Is that what you're saying?
It's the culture. It's definitely the culture and the team. We all know what we're all doing.
Well, we're linking arms. I mean, I think that's what you're trying to say is we link arms. Carl, we do the call stars Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We do one on Friday too. We call it makeup day because if you didn't get to your numbers, you're still able to jump on with other like-minded, like-hearted people that are going to motivate each other to get that business. We've got a sales club chat that we have in the background where people are literally high-fiving each other all day. I got a lead, I got a contract, right? I got a great appointment with a whale, and they're talking to each other and cheering each other on from the sidelines. And our motto, which we stole from Steve and you, we're better together. We're better together, right?
I like that. I just had I think in pictures. I don't know if that's normal or not, but I don't think words, I think pictures. And Christina, I just got a visual image, and the image I had was not that it needs to be this way, but the visual image I got is you're in the middle, and I was on one side and Devon's on the other. And Devin, you said locking arms.
Yeah.
And so we're the 3 of us are sitting there like the 3 amigos, walking through the jungle with our bayonets in hand. We got our arms linked. And Christina, you're counting on me to keep up with you. and I'm counting on you to keep up with me. And Devin's counting on the two of us. If one of us starts to slack up a little bit, the other two, hey, Carl, we're counting on you. You got to step it up, buddy. We're counting on you here because I can't do this without you, Carl. I need you to be here with me. I need to do this with you. And so it's like, it's that accountability, not just to myself, but to my brother and my sister, that are counting on me. Is that kind of describe it?
That's a great explanation, in the feel of it.
Yeah.
I don't believe that I would have been able to. I'm a very motivated person in general, anyways. However, embracing something that the call reluctance and not seeing the fruit immediately, like today, like you would as a lead falling in your lap, like what was happening. So even though if you look at it in retrospect, that the fruit comes super quick, it really, really does. But those first 4 to 6 weeks, you don't really, I'm making coffee appointments and I'm reaching out, but I haven't received leads yet. Not from new realtors, not from brand new people that I've spoken to. It's really that 5th, 6th, 7th week that I really started to see traction from the same people that I had been calling for the 6 or 7 weeks, right? I don't know that I would have believed that it really worked, to be quite frank with you. If I had not had the accountability partners and the team and the culture, I think on week 3, all of those people that I originally called in the beginning, or maybe had a coffee appointment, well, they don't like me. They didn't give me anything. We didn't really connect. I mean, I started getting leads from people that I thought I didn't connect with. I didn't think that they really liked me. So I don't know that I would be, if it wasn't for the team and the culture, I don't know that I would have believed how phenomenally well it works.
Yeah.
No, like I'm still shocked.
Yeah. So we're not going to tell Devin how awesome he is, right? So that'll be our little secret, Christina.
It's all her, man. I can help people. I can give them the motivation. I can provide them the plan, but they have to want to put themselves in that position to strive for excellence. And Christina is that person. She comes to work with the A game on every single day. We do our pep talk in the morning, and I can see her getting fired up, when we're in the locker room, so to speak, before we jump on Call Stars. She's our biggest advocator. She's out there just super excited about everything that we're doing. And that's all her, brother. I can take credit where credit's due, but at the end of the day, it's Christina and her drive to be successful. So I'm super proud of her and what she's accomplished.
Yeah, it's funny. We can show people what to do, Devin, but that fire, they have to come to the table with that. So
that's right. 100%.
Christina, what would you say? I mean, man, things are going. Was a 5 in October a fluke? Like how's it looking going forward? Like what is you got something cooking for November yet?
Yeah, I my goal is 7. I have potentially for sure 5 again. But I do have some, I'm starting to, I was started off with 2 good leads a week. And then I've seen it double. I saw it double to like 5, almost double, maybe 2.5 per week if you average it out. And now I'm in the past 2 weeks, I'm starting to see 7 good leads. So maybe that means that I'll have 9 in the next 2 weeks. They're all phenomenal leads.
Where are they coming from?
Like a week, right?
No, I get it. Yeah, where are the leads coming from?
Realtors. My coffee appointments.
Okay. Just good old coffee appointments.
There may be one other source, though. Let's talk about that real quick. When you started with the branch, did you bring a past customer database with you?
No, I have one builder that I worked with from prior to, and then I reactivated them.
Did you get an orphan list of past customers?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I totally forgot about my orphans.
Hey, Devin, just for listeners who might be new, tell them what an orphan list is.
So an orphan list is if you have bank, broker, or lender that you're going to work for that has other borrowers that they've closed, and the originators that were responsible for those loans no longer work for that company, you can approach your lender for orphan loans. And Christina did exactly that with us. She's in Florida. We're a servicer. So we have a great amount of borrowers in Florida that are orphans that are not paired up with existing loan officers. You're also licensed, I believe, in Georgia too, right, Christina?
Yes.
Yep. So we broke up a list of borrowers in Georgia and Florida that were orphans. And I know for a fact, out of those 5 last month, I'm pretty sure one of those came from an orphan loan.
I have closed one a month for the past 3 months from that list, and I have another one that's going to close this month.
So that's
in November.
Four times 3. So, and we don't talk BIPs or things like that, but if we just say for the average seasoned loan officer, if they're making whatever, couple $3,000, whatever, per loan, that and you close 4 loans, that's, I don't know, somewhere between $8,000 and $12,000 would be average. And, Devin and I have this old saying, every 8 to 12,000 helps. All right. So awesome. Hey, so we've been talking about puppy dogs, unicorns, and rainbows here. Let's kind of pivot just a little bit. So ramping back up, any setbacks, and if so, how'd you overcome them?
I did have a setback. Devin, do you want to talk about my setback?
When you briefly partnered up with somebody else?
Yeah.
Is that yeah. She came to me when she first started. We have a few loan partners here where they've partnered up and they feel like they're better together. And we encourage that, right? If somebody wants to go in that direction. And there was a brief period where she thought, hey, you know what? I'm not quite where I want to be, and I know I want to excel at this thing. And we've got another person here who also is licensed in multiple states. They tried to partner up, and they just found that they weren't compatible when it came to working together as a team. And we've got
I
a
think
very
we
specific.
both had setbacks. Both of us did.
100%. Because you guys are both phenomenal loan officers. You both do great things.
Right.
You just have very different ways of doing business. And I think that was the setback. You were trying to partner up with another strong-minded female. And at the end of the day, you had 2 different visions as to what you saw with your team. And I think this is really a great thing to talk about, because sometimes loan officers go, man, you know what, maybe if I just linked up with somebody else, I could accomplish more. But I think from this experience specifically, well, great, but link up with a pre-approval specialist. Link up with a loan expert that works with your team exclusively, that follows your vision and your plan. And so that's the new vision for Christina. We have shared pre-approval specialists here in the team, and we literally just before this call, we're talking about her transition soon to a dedicated role, because she is starting to see that volume coming in. And we will eventually have a dedicated person on the backside of her team that will work with her exclusively. But right now, she's taking advantage of our shared pre-approval specialists so that she does have a business partner to help her with the heavy lifting. But I think you're right, Christine. It was a little bit of a setback because we were on a roll. You were doing phenomenal, and then and I love the partnership because I love your the way you two communicate with each other. But you're both very strong-minded, and I think in this case, you're better together on the sidelines cheering each other on,
right,
than you are, playing on the same position.
But kind of like linking the arms again and encouraging each other.
100%.
Rather than 2 people trying to pick up one bazooka. It's like, wait, who's aiming and who's pulling the trigger? So
it was
exactly.
2 cooks in the kitchen is what we figured out. And it wasn't a personality conflict. It was more of a task conflict. Okay,
I get it.
What that does that make sense? Yeah,
I get it. Anything else you'd have done different getting started? And it's not like, gee, in the last 10 years of doing this, we're talking about you've been back for like 6 months, right? So there's only so many mistakes we can make in a period of 6 months, but even though I pushed the envelope on that myself with my mistakes. But anything else that you might would have done different? I mean,
more calls.
I'm not trying to dig for something here, because I'm sitting there thinking, holy cow. So you're 6 months in, you closed 5 last month, you got 5, maybe 6, shooting for 7 this month. You're doing a lot of right things. It sounds like the right things is simply just doing the activity. And you know what I'm getting out of this, Devin, is like this thing that you and I map out, it's a proven plan. Like, it just works. It's finding people that have their head in the game.
Yeah.
And Christina, some people are watching this on YouTube. Most are listening to this on a podcast, but I'm sitting here, I can see the fire in your eyes. Like, literally, I can see this. I don't know what it is. I wish I could bottle it, and transfuse it to people. It doesn't work that way. Right. So, but I see this fire in your eye. Like, you're just like take no prisoners. I'm going to do what it takes. And, hey, if it's hard, so be it. It's going to be hard, but I'm going to do this. Right. Yeah. You always been that way?
Yes.
Yeah. Devin, I've heard, great salespeople are found, not created. And I think it's, I think that's a piece of it. So, so what's next, Christina? What's next on Christina's? If we look in the crystal ball, what's coming up? What's different? Well, it's a year from today. What's different?
Well, my goal is this little seat that I got at boot camp. I look at this every day.
Yes.
It's like my little prize, and I keep changing the numbers and ticks and seeing where I'm at. So it's a little scratch stuff, but
so it's and for our listeners that have never seen it, think of it like as a goal sheet. I prefer to call it like an action sheet, but that's what we're looking at here. So
my goal is to be at 24 loans by March, a month.
So be at 24.
And what's amazing is these numbers that I learned that you guys teach, and that Devin has, that with our tracker that we use in in the branch, they're accurate. Like, it's amazing.
Wait,
so now
stop.
I can figure out.
Shut up. So
it's really crazy.
You're telling me this stuff that we say it actually works? If we'd have known that, we'd charge more. Holy cow.
I'll tell you the thing, Carl, with her is, we always have the saying, be Bob, right? And just follow the plan and follow it blindly. And it's so hard to do, right? Like you always talk about, we always want to find that shiny object and say, no, this is what it's going to be. And Christina doesn't look for those objects. She just follows the plan, and she has that drive inside of her, like you talked about. And Christina, that 24 in March, you're going to hit that number. What I think the answer, Carl, is for her, she's going to start sending you everything to the right of the decimal point at the end of 2024. That's what I see happening with Christina.
I believe that. And just again, for our listeners, we have this running, and I'm going to say it's a joke, but it's not a joke. We have this running thing that we talk about that in the Freedom Club, that once you hit your first $1 million year, and not of loaning out, but of personal income, not just revenue, but income, that I get everything to the right of the decimal. So Christina, 2024, when you make $1,134,000 and 27 cents, I get the 27 cents. So I've actually got this.
I'll make sure you get it.
I've actually got this wall in my office, actually in my house. It's a wall in my house. And I've got a wall full of these checks for, I think my biggest one so far is 87 cents, but I get these checks for 87 cents and 54 cents. But see, to me, each one of them, it's a story. It is. It's a story. And when I look at that, I'll see, I'll see Devin, and I go, man, what an awesome dude. And I think of the journey and looking forward to seeing you. But I see these individual people with their stories, and it's my favorite part of the job is so hey, some days I get in a funk, right? And when I get in a funk, I go look on the wall and I think of all those stories, and it's very gratifying. So, I mean, people ask me if I cash those checks. Yeah, I do. I sure do. I do cash those checks. So, hey, Christina, what would you, for our listeners in here, somebody that they're sitting there and maybe their numbers are down a little bit, or maybe they're just getting what what's one piece of advice you'd give our listeners here?
Join Mortgage Marketing Animals and a great team. And I'm not just saying that, like I'm going to say it's changed my life, because I now see how I have structure. One of my, I have a plan, and I have complete faith that the plan works.
Well, when you're cashing pretty good sized checks 6 months in the business, I guess you can believe it. Right? I mean, it's not.
And you know what I love about you, Carl, is just getting to know you at the boot camp and your stories is it's not really, I mean, the money can create a life for you and other people. So it's not about the money, but it is about what you can do with the money for your community and the people around you. And so you're building dreams and affecting families and lives, and for the better, like those little stories on your wall with the sense.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. It's yeah, she's going to choke me up, Devin.
She's going to make me cry too.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll let you take over here, buddy. So, so cool. Well, it's I really appreciate it, Christina. How about you, Devin? What would somebody that's listening and they're feeling a little discouraged? Hey, but you know what? I don't want to undermine what she just said here. First of all, I think the team, Christina, I think you're dead on. I think that look, if I'm walking through the jungle and the lady to my left or the dude to my right is feeling beat up and nobody's buying, rates are high, nobody's going to do this, none of the agents have anything to refer you, they all suck, and and all this other stuff, there is zero chance I'm going to make it through that jungle, right? Zero. And I think surrounding ourselves with and I don't mean falsely positive, but people that are actually doing it, people that's actually getting results. And look, we all stumble, all of us. Every now and then there'll be a tree stump in that jungle and we'll trip over it. And we might even fall into in a little bit of mud, maybe catch a little crossfire, something like that. But we get back up because our teammates did, and they're counting on us. And I think that's, I think that's a powerful thing. And Devin, you've done dude, I love the culture of what you guys are doing. And this is not any kind of paid endorsement or anything. We're just two buddies that share ideas and mastermind together. But when you bring your team in, dude, I can tell who's on that team. They just walk with their shoulders back. They got a little skip in their step. It's great leadership. So Devin, what would you parting shot? What would you say? Hey, if you're going through a little bit of a hard time right now, I got one piece of advice to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go back to what Christina said, and the first part is obviously, following a successful plan, something that is working for others out there, but following it right to the T. You got to make sure that you stay on path. And like Christina said, at week 6, don't lose hope. That's when the good stuff starts to happen. But the second part, and this is right along the same thing, is people right now in this industry, and I think in the world in general, need to be well led. That's where we're at in this world. People need to be well led right now. There's a lot of fear, there's a lot of scare, there's a lot of concern. I literally talk to people weekly that say my branch manager said, hey, maybe I need to go get another job, or hey, I'm thinking about getting out of this industry, or physically the branches are just shutting down. Those are people that don't have a plan and they don't know how to create success. Look for a team that's creating success, somebody that has a leader that's going to help you find your way and link arms with other people out there that are doing the same thing. And if it's not the team, it's got to be with you guys, Carl, and the Marketing Animals, because what you guys have created is something super special, and you're doing it for reasons like you care. You genuinely care. And there's other plans out there where it's not about the leaders caring. I know that in this community, every leader that I communicate with cares about the people and want to see them finding the most successful version of themselves. That's what people need to be focused on right now.
Yeah. Good stuff, brother. Hey, Christine, I'm just curious. I see Devin doing these videos. Have you thought about getting into the video game a little bit like Devin does? Staying focused.
She's an introvert. She's an introvert. Carl, she's an introvert. We talked about this. She was terrified to come on the podcast. She comes on ours all the time. She actually brings her guests and uses it as a vessel to help create relationships. However, the video side is something that she doesn't enjoy as much as she does the good old fashioned face to face.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Actually, what I was leading into, I was going to do a shameless plug, Devin. Your videos are freaking awesome, buddy. I really enjoy them. If our listeners are wanting to, you send out these little how-to videos, and I'm not going to say motivational because it's instructional for loan officers. Where can they plug in and see some of the stuff that you do?
Well, thanks for that, Carl. The Dubuc team on Facebook, the Dubuc team on Instagram, or the Dubuc team on YouTube. We post everything there. And what you're referring to is we do the Mortgage Monday, we do the pro tips, and we do what we call Midweek Motivation, which launches on Wednesday. So if you're watching today on November the 1st, you'll see one about social media and how it's affecting us, right? So at the end of the day, thank you for that, Carl. And, honestly, we did the motivational not for anything other than leading people well. We want people to know that there's others out there that are looking to help support them and finding great success. And sometimes getting that midweek motivation, you never know who you're going to touch with that. You never know who out there, and it could be in any country, that hears that and it changes something in them. That's what that's all about.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, you talk with such passion. I get a kick out of them. I really do. You can't. It's impossible to sit in your chair and fall asleep while watching Devon's videos. I'll tell you that. It's a lot of good stuff. Christina, thank you so much. Man, I would love to do a follow-up here. I don't know, like 90 days, kind of see how things are going. I know how they're going, but just see what you're doing and just to see where you've gone from there. So if I can, in 90 days or so, I'd love to hook back up and let's do this again. Sound like a plan?
Absolutely.
Let's
Absolutely.
do
Thank
it.
you, Carl, for having me.
All right. I appreciate it. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. All right. Great stuff. Hey, for our listeners, thanks so much for letting us be a part of your day. And when you're ready to see the exact same plan that Christina's working on, right? The exact same plan, we'll give you a demonstration of it. We'll map it out to you all on my dime. Won't cost you a penny. If you go to freedomclubdemo.com, freedomclubdemo.com, look at the plan. I always think before I say yes or no to something, my gosh, take a look at it and see what we're saying yes to no to. So before you say, hey, I'm doing the plan, let's map it out to you. Or before you say, oh, I don't know if I want to do that, look to see what the plan is. My suspicion is you'll find out it's a whole lot easier than you might think it is. And closing an extra 4 or 5, or like in Christina's case, 5, 6, 7 loans a month, man, it can be really helpful. And would love to show you the plan that we believe can make it happen. So freedomclubdemo.com, freedomclubdemo.com. Don't delay. I'll see you on the inside there, and we'll also see you on the next episode of Loan Officer Freedom. Thanks again, everybody. Bye-bye.